Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to another session with Mr. Smith. This is actually old news. It was a couple months back at a pep rally at a high school in Kentucky where the boys were out there dressed in women's clothing and giving lap dances to teachers. And this particular picture is the principal and mayor of this particular Kentucky town where this happened. Middle America. Going buck wild.
Mr. Smith, I thought this only happens in places like San Francisco.
Wrong, Billy, wrong. Small town America, small city America is corrupting your children just as much. And I know for a fact that this is in all over the country, in all high schools, and probably in middle schools too, where boys are cross-dressing and doing stuff like this and doing things like lap dances and twerking. And the principal seems to be enjoying it. They're laughing at it. Now, parents complained about this and said it was inappropriate, which it completely is. They're sexualizing these boys. Once a boy starts putting on a dress and doing this, that makes them so much more open to doing this, if you know what I mean, in reality. And this has become an acceptable thing in high schools across the country. The thing that shocks me more than anything is that there's a lot of parents who are perfectly okay with this behavior and actually seem to want to promote it. Let's take a look at one parent that was interviewed after this pep rally took place. Let's see what she has to say.
None of my children have been hurt. None of the teachers have been hurt. It's embarrassing to them that this has to happen at their school because people don't know how to keep their mouths shut.
I don't think it's taken out of context. They're half naked.
Wow. Did you hear what that woman with the pink mask said? People just don't know how to keep their mouth shut. Wow. Now that is very telling. She was the only woman that was interviewed on this particular news broadcast. It was a local news station from Kentucky. And they interviewed one woman that had a nose ring. You heard her at the end of the clip, and she was complaining about the pep rally. And then they bring on the woman with the pink mask, and she represents the responsible parent with the mask. And none of her kids got hurt. I wonder if any of her children at that school were boys, number one. They probably were, and she probably likes feminizing her sons. Maybe. Maybe not. And the shaming tactic. People just don't know how to keep their mouth shut. You don't think that? That was by design, of course. People just don't know how to keep their mouth shut. No. If you are on the side of righteousness, do not keep your mouth shut. And for people who are on the fence, you understand it's time to start picking a side. You are either with the Most High or you are not. And it's getting really, really crazy. And it's going to get much worse as our country falls into moral decay. But these young people, they're 16, 17, some of them maybe 18. They still don't know they don't know the consequences of these actions. Everything has an effect. But we have a society, a lot of people that just think this is perfectly okay. this type of behavior. Anyway, but you see the shaming tactic that this newscast is using. They just don't know how to keep their mouth shut, mind their own business. You know, for years I listened to a guy named Zeph Daniel, and I highly recommend that you check his podcast out. He just does, speaks like I do. And he's I think he's in his late 60s now. I met with him about 10 years ago. I give him mad respect. He was the one that actually got me interested in the scriptures, in the Bible. And he grew up in Beverly Hills. And he can tell you that this stuff was going on back in the 60s and the 70s and especially in high hoity-toity circles. And if you dare to listen to what he has to say, it's not for the faint-hearted, right? It's truth that people just don't want to know. So, but shout out to Zeph Daniel, Zeph, and then Daniel, and you can just Google him. You can find him if you want to listen to him. But yeah, he'll tell you this was going on back in the 70s and stuff like that. However, there was no social media. People didn't have cameras everywhere. And people could keep this quiet. So this mother that says people can't keep their mouths shut. Well, yeah, we can't keep our mouths shut anymore. But hopefully you see the manipulative tactic that the TV news feed tried to do when interviewing the woman with the pink mask. Oh, and really quick before I sign off, did you notice they didn't interview any fathers? If you look at the full video clip of the news feed, yeah, they interviewed no men, no fathers. Where are the fathers? Where are the men? Interesting, huh? They want to get masculinity and men out of the equation. Anyway. Peace and blessings. May the Most High keep you until we do this again. All right. Mr. Smith is out.